"Who's that there?" they asked, astounded. When Androukio said nothing, they came over to him with the light and asked him what he was doing there in such a repulsive state. Androukio told them the whole story of what had happened to him. They guessed where it could have been and said to each other, "It must have all happened at that villain, Boutafoukos." "My good lad," said one of them, turning to Androukio, "you might have lost your money, but you have plenty reason for praising the Lord that you happened to have that fall and then couldn't get back into the house. If you hadn't fallen, you can be sure that you'd have been murdered as soon as you dropped off to sleep, and then you'd have lost your life as well as your money. But what's the point of crying over it at this stage? You've as much a chance of getting a penny back as of picking stars from the sky. You're likely to end up dead if that villain hears you've been blabbing away." Then, after some conferring together, they put a proposal to him. "Look, we feel sorry for you," they said. "So, if you want to join us in a certain project we are en route to perform, we are of the definite opinion that your share of the profits will amount to much more than what you have lost." Androukio, in his desperate state, replied that he was ready and willing. That day had seen the burial of a certain Archbishop of Naples called Messer Filippo Minutolo. He had been buried in elaborate finery with a ruby ring on his finger, worth over 500 gold florins. The two of them had in mind to detach it. They explained the scheme to Androukio, who let greed override good sense, and the three of them set off. Androukio was still giving off a strong smell as they proceeded towards the cathedral. "Can't we find a way," said one of the two at a certain point, "for this companion of ours to have a wash somewhere to stop him stinking so horribly?" "Yes," said the other, "we are near to a well now. It's always had a pulley and a big bucket. Let's go over and give him a quick wash." When they reached the well, they found the rope was there, but the bucket had been removed, so they decided to tie Androukio to the rope and lower him into the well. Once at the bottom, he would wash himself, and then, when he had done, he would give the rope a shake and they would pull him up. So they moved into action and lowered Androukio into the well. But it so happened that some of the night watch were feeling thirsty because of the heat and also because they had been chasing after someone. They were coming towards the well to get a drink when the other two saw them and at once took to their heels without any of the company coming after water seeing them. Down in the well, Androukio, having finished washing, shook the rope a few times. The thirsty watchmen, who had now unstrapped their bucklers, their weapons, and their surcoats, began pulling on the rope, believing that it was attached to a big bucket full of water. As soon as Androukio saw he was near the rim of the well, he let go of the rope and grabbed hold of the rim in his hands. The sight was enough to terrify the watchmen, who immediately, without a word, let go of the rope and ran off as fast as they could. Androukio was profoundly startled. If he had not kept a firm hold, he would have fallen back into the well and perhaps have hurt himself badly or even finished up dead. Once he was finally out of the well, he found the abandoned weaponry, which he knew his companions had not been carrying, and was even more amazed. Nervous, unclear what was going on, bemoaning his misfortune, he decided to take himself off without touching anything and wandered away with no idea of where he was heading. He was going along like this when he bumped into his two companions who were coming back to pull him up out of the well. They were astonished and asked him who had actually done that. Andrukyo replied that he did not know, but gave them a full account of what had occurred and of what he had found by the well. His companions realized what had happened and explained, laughing, why they had run away and who the people were who had pulled him up. Then, without wasting any more words, since it was already midnight, they all went off to the cathedral. Καλοί χριστιανοί πήγαν στον καθεδρικό ναό, στην εκκλησία.